All right, welcome to lesson number 5. And this one, you'll be making a wall. Okay, I have a wall already drawn here. Let me show you how I did that. Okay, so you're going to, instead of choose a sprite, you're going to click on paint right here. And we're going to draw one from scratch by clicking on the rectangle. And we're just going to draw it flat like this. Okay, you can resize it later. Choose the color you want, so on and so forth, and we're ready to go. Okay, once you come back to code, see right here, if you don't like it flat like this, you can always come in here and click on direction, and then you can angle it however you want. Voila. Okay, so let's start coding. Click on the ball to, if you click and move it, then, or you can click on it down there. All right, now, the old code involved having the ball like stab into the wall, then come out, turn, stab, and keep going until it moved parallel to it, and then turn that amount again. Instead of stabbing a million times, we're going to change the look of the ball for that instant in time and rotate it till it doesn't touch. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is to add a costume to the ball. So if you already have a bunch of costumes, which this one does, it's fine. Click down to the bottom one. Oh, let's go back. Don't click on that. Click on the one with the paintbrush again, and then you get a blank. We can click on your first one. We can use Control and C to copy, and then click on the 6 right here, and then Control V. Voila, you have the ball again. And you want it to be in the exact same place, and then we're just going to add a rectangle to it. Okay, and you want to make this rectangle, let's just click on backward again, so it's behind the ball. We want to make it so it's exactly the same size as the ball. If you want to zoom in and come up, you can. You want to go, and so you, come on. Oh, I'm drawing another one here. Let me undo. Oh, let me hit Control Z. This is undo right here. Okay, whew, almost exit out of the program. All right. So you just want to just barely, oh, come on. Here we go. Click on the arrow, then click on it, then adjust accordingly. So you were wanting to, here we go. Click this. Let's come right to right there. And we'll come up. So it's just barely right there. Okay. I'm going to come down here, do the same thing. Voila. So take your time and make it look right on. Okay. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I'm going to bring this out. You can see on here what it's doing. It's creating a square there. That's going to stick out in front of your ball. Let's not go too far. Let's say 1, 2, 3, about 3 squares. On the the checkerboard pattern there, about 3 squares in front of the ball. I think that should do it. Let's try it out and see what happens. Okay. All right, let's see what goes on here. Let's go back to code and let's create another block. So we call it blocks, we call them functions. So make a block, or we'll call it a function, but what are we doing? We're hitting a wall this time. Okay, and we're gonna add an input. Okay, which wall are we hitting? we're going to run it super fast. Actually, I'm not going to click on it so you see what happens, but then we will activate it. You can activate it now if you want. Okay, so here's our magical block here. And when we hit the wall, we're calling it sprite 1. Let's change that to wall. Okay, click on the ball again. So hit wall, and we'll type in wall. Same exact spelling, everything, capitalization matters. All right, so let's start programming it. All right, so basically what we're going to do is as soon as we hit the wall, it's going to hit, we want it to, back off of the wall until we're no longer, let's make it look at it. So we want to come in and back off. So we want to back off the wall, which we already have that, right? We want to back off that wall. Okay, so if I overlap it and I click on it, no, darn, I wish I could. So it's going to back off, actually, it's going to be this, it'll look like this. So it'll back off till it's not touching. And, okay, so as soon as it backs off, then I'm going to go to looks and we're going to switch the costume to costume 1. Is that what we called it? It's called costume 1. We can rename this. Oh, right here. I'll call it a detector because that's what it's doing. It's kind of like detecting where the wall is. Okay. All right, so let's get back to our code. So we're going to switch to the detector. All right, as soon as we hit the wall, we back off and then we turn this on. If we turn this on before we back off, it'll back off till this isn't touching. So we want to back off before we switch to our detector. Now, after we switch to the detector, we're going to do kind of this same type of thing that we do with a back off. I'm going to actually duplicate that repeat until block, and I'm going to stick it on there. But it's not that anymore. It is which wall, and it's not moving. We're going to be turning. Okay. We're going to turn 1 degree at a time. So it's just going to slowly turn until it's no longer touching the detector. As soon as it does that, we'll know what angle the wall is at because it'll be parallel to it. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're also going to use the variable. We can use angle or we can use incidence. It doesn't matter. We're going to use angle because that's what it defaults to on there. We're going to set angle to 0. So think of angle as the variable angle is like a bucket or brain cell of the computer where we can save stuff into it. Okay, so we're going to set the angle to 0. Actually, not inside of it. We want that up above. We're going to change the angle by 1 inside. Okay, so every time we turn, we're going to add 1. So it's going to keep adding 1 to angle. Boom, 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 boom. Each time it turns. So it's going to remember how much it takes to turn to match up with the wall. All right, so it keeps turning, turn, 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 turn. And then we're going to turn again, motion. Keep it the same direction, keep turning the same way. And we're going to stick in angle right there. Boom. Okay. Now, let's hit play. Oh, I need to stop. Stop. Okay. We forgot to switch the costume again. Let's go back to looks, switch the costume back to ball A, And let's see what that does. Let's hit play. Okay, so it's doing something weird. There we go. Why is it right there? Let me stop the game here, see what happens. Backing off. Should be just barely kissing the wall when it's doing that, right? If it only backed off one step. It's working. Let's turn on turbo, see what happens. Hit wall, let's right click, edit. Click on that. And basically, it seems to be working. But it's bouncing as if it's hitting a ghost, like it's, Let me look at it for a quick second, and then I'll come back. Okay, I found my mistake. We did not use a if. You know, we have an if touching on almost everything. I forgot to do that. Isn't that lovely? Okay, so if, and then touching, put it in there, voila. So if we actually touch the wall, then we're going to do this, okay? Let's see how that changes it. There, now it's actually right on top of it. Okay, that looks better. So don't forget the if touching the wall. So it's not going to back off the wall until it's actually touching it. And so all this only happens if it touches the wall. Okay. And this should work with almost any shaped object now. So if you have a round object that you want it to push away, use the kicker. If you want a round object that you just want it to bounce off of regular, you use hit peg. And if you have anything else, we're going to use hit wall. So you can even use random shaped objects now. So you can pick anything and try it out, see how it works. Okay. All right. So let me go back to turning this into a fast running thing. All right. So it should work great. Voila. Okay. So that's not too bad, is it? And if you have more than one wall, so if we duplicate that wall and we angle it the other way, bring it down here, you can have it hanging off the edge. Oops. Trap the ball there for a second. All right, so make some walls. Maybe you have something up here. If you want more room for the ball to move around, make the ball smaller. It's not that hard to make the ball smaller. So we could say, hey, you make that, smaller ball, and it'll almost seem like the whole thing's bigger. So you can change whatever you want with this. Don't follow me exactly. Take the time to make it yours. All right, so wall 2, I'm going to duplicate that and say wall 2, no space, no space. Okay, and play. Should work here, should work. And it does, yay. Okay, there you go. This was hopefully a short one. We're going to File, Save, and then File, Save as Copy. I'm going to change this to 6 of 7, and then I'm going to save it again. Voila. Okay, ready to go for the next video. Hope you enjoyed it.